Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to the Dig Out of Debt series here on Gage, Kentucky. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a wonderful day. So, you join me in the dead of winter. We're in January now, it's 20 past 10 in the morning and it has been snowing heavily over the last couple of months. The last episode ended in November and I kind of figured we needed to shift forward just a couple of months into January. Ordinarily on my saves in the past, when it comes to winter, there's very little going on a farm in general, so I tend to skip through winter. Aside from doing a bit of snow ploughing or whatever that might be required, there's very little going on field work wise. Just give the equipment a bit of a clean off and skip through winter and crack on from there. But on this series, on this map, January is a big month for us. We are looking to sell our dried corn and our wheat as well. So as you can see, we've got a trailer load of dried corn behind me. Yes, I have increased the capacity of this trailer just a little bit to make this particular job a little bit less painful, because we've got quite a lot of the stuff over in the corn dryer ready to go, and we need to be, and with this being a relatively big map, we've got quite a few trips back and to, so just to reduce those trips significantly, I've just given this a bit of a slightly unrealistic capacity of 30,000 litres just temporarily while we get this done. But yeah, it stands to be a pretty decent month, this one. I'm hoping by the end of the episode we are going to have our current debt more than split in half. We're currently $755,000 in debt, onwards from our $1 million that we started off this series with. All going to plan today, considering leaving myself roughly about a 20 grand float in the bank account. We're going to have somewhere in the region of an outstanding balance to pay off of somewhere around 280 grand, which is brilliant. And this dried corn and the wheat is going to go a long way to helping us achieve that. We've got, again, somewhere in the region of about $420,000 worth of dried corn, and we've got just under 65 grand's worth of wheat in our big silo as well. So put those two together, we're going to be looking to pay off somewhere in the ballpark figure of about 480 grand. So that's brilliant. So that's what we're getting cracked on with now. Now, throughout the past couple of months on the farm, there hasn't been much to do, but I've got down to a couple of jobs. I have cleaned everything off in the sheds here. Everything's been stowed away for the winter. We have welcomed a handful of new animals as well. We've got 20 newborn goats and 20 newborn sheep, which is brilliant. So we've got a few more mouths to feed. But that's great. The sheep have been reproducing, so that's all good. I have topped up obviously kept the cows and the sheep topped up with grass, and I've also topped them up with a bit of water as well. But they're all doing fine. I know in reality I should really be with it when it comes to the baby goats. They probably shouldn't be out here in the snow, in the cold. It's currently -3 degrees. There is an element of cruelty to that, but within the mechanics of the game and the fact that I don't have an indoor barn to put them in, it is what it is. So, but they're all in good health. That's all that matters. And one thing I have actually done is I've almost from the last episode, when I found out that my trailer, my barrel, as it were, didn't actually support milk, which was a bit of a shock to me. For some reason I thought it did, but I've found a solution and I've made some money from that solution. So we sold the original barrel I had sold for just over $1,500, and this little beauty is a cracker that I just found on the mod hub yesterday. It's called the One Axle Trailer. It's by a modder called CORSAIR, and it cost a mind-boggling $340. So I've made just over 1,200 bucks from a chopping and changing of that, and it does exactly what I needed it to do. It supports all the liquids on this map. It supports water, it supports milk, it supports all the liquid fertilizers, anhydrous, and the various UAN 28s and 32s that this map supports. So it's a very handy thing to have on the farm. So it's a great mod. It's by a modder called CORSAIR. It's on the mod hub. It's a lovely little thing, and it's super cheap and just what I wanted for this farm. So we've got hold of that now, so that's all good. So I've been able to move the milk over to our newly purchased and placed down in the last episode little dairy production system over on the farm. So regarding that, I have decided what we're going to be turning our milk and goat milk into to try and make the most out of the money that we can earn from it. Here we are at the Gage hay and stuff. This is actually the place that's offering the most money for our dried corn. Let's see what we get for a trailer load. But yeah, so I've decided to turn, looking at what's available and what we can use our goat milk and cow milk for. Obviously, I suppose we're no stranger to it, but we're looking at turning the goat milk into butter because processing wise that seems to be the one we're going to get the most out of. It takes 3 units of goat milk to make 10 units of butter, so that seems to be the right thing to do, whereas for goat cheese it takes 3 units of goat cheese to make 6 units. Sorry, 3 units of goat milk to make 6 units of goat cheese, and goat milk bottled takes 10 units of goat milk to make 20 units of bottled goat milk. So yeah, it seems the right thing to do to turn that into butter. And with the cow milk, we're going to be turning it into bottled milk because, again, we get most out of it. It takes 10 units of normal milk to make 20 units of bottled milk, and it actually takes 15 units of cow milk to make 13 units of butter. So we're going to use the goat milk to make butter, and we're going to use the cow milk to make bottled milk, and hopefully in the fullness of time make a bit of money from that income as well. But that's all to come in the future. As I say, we've got most of the jobs done that I needed to do to get us through the winter. We need to focus in January now to sell the dried corn and the wheat, get a load of money in the bank, make the bank manager happy, pay off a huge chunk of our debt, and then we will then shift forward into spring, where the first job I need to take advantage of there is get to work in the old cornfield, get that ploughed over, which is going to be a massive job. It's something I want to do. I know I don't necessarily need to, but I think it is. Whether this is still done or not in reality, I'm not too sure, but I was always under the impression that ploughing a field of harvested corn, it doesn't necessarily make a difference to the yield within this game. I get that, but I just remember reading that it was done a while ago, whether it's still done now, but it was relatively good practice to plough through a field of harvested corn because of the crop. And you always got that. If you didn't play with precision farming or anything, you always got the needs ploughing message in a field of harvested corn. So we're going to plough that field. It's going to take a considerable amount of time. I think that's another 7 or 8 hours worth of work. So, but we are going to do that, but we're not going to be doing that until spring, because then we need to get that field turned around. If I jump into the menu very quickly and just have a look, corn planting season is April, so we need to get that done in March, get the field ploughed, cultivated, get it prepped, ready for a drilling in April. So that's the next big job to do. Everything else on the farm is ticking over nicely. All the fields are sown. We do still have to deal with the new grass field that we stitched together from those 2 small fields of soybeans, but again, that's to come. Don't need to rush too much about that. We've got plenty of grass in bales to keep the animals fed, so that's all good. So yeah, that's pretty much a bit of an introduction to today's episode. Like I say, we'll get cracking with this. This is going to take a good little bit of time, getting all this dried corn and wheat sold, and then I'll pick you up in a wee while when the money's in the bank and we can make a significant payment on our debt.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart starts beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit can let her hair down, but got her feet on the ground. I can't get enough of her. She can drive me so wild, just with that sweet smile, and there's nobody else for me. My heart starts racing every time I'm looking at her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing to me. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. Guitar. Yeah. All right. Wouldn't lie to you. Doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. Ha. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl.
Right then, getting this thing back into the shed. Trying my very best to anyway. It's a really tough thing to reverse this, even at 1 mile an hour, because of its such short wheelbase. It's a right tricky thing to reverse in a straight line with this dolly axle thing at the front. But anyway, here we go. So, a little over 4 hours later. Yeah, it's been a while, this one. It really has. It's taken me, as near as it makes no difference, bang on 4 hours, or 2 minutes over 4 hours, I think we're at the minute. Yeah, but what a lucrative 4 hours it has been. Check out the bank balance now. $486,530, which is just brilliant. So, we're on a good path to get this debt paid off. But since the recording I made at the beginning of this episode, where, let me just fill this up with some diesel. Yeah, since the clip I made when I was talking to you earlier, before I was about to sell all the grain, the plans have changed a little bit. The idea was initially to skip forward, to get all this done, get that grain and dried corn sold, and then skip forward in time into March and get cracking. I mean, we've been that long, obviously. I mean, check it out, all the snow's gone. It's melted already within those hours. But yeah, that was the plan, to pretty much get this bit done, pay off a load of the debt, and skip forward into March and get cracking with our cornfield. But during those hours, while I was getting all those jobs done, selling of the grain and the dried corn, I had a quick look through the contracts menu, and as you can see from the top right, I have taken on a contract, and what a contract it is. I'll show you in a minute. Just bear with me. Let me just get out of here and open this garage door up, because as you can see, it's a ploughing contract, and it's in field 119. Now, field 119 is from what I've worked out, is the third biggest field on this map. It is colossal. It's just over, as near as it makes no difference, it's just over 122 acres. So yeah, this is going to be an absolute whopper. But I'm going to hold off for the minute on paying off any kind of debt, because I'm going to get this contract done first. So there we go. Let's get that hooked up. Get back in cab and shut the door. There we go. Right, lovely. Let's get this picked up. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute beast, this is. I said it in the last episode, didn't I? But I really am something of a glutton for punishment, it would seem. A 5-metre plough and a 122-acre field. But the reason why I'm doing it is... Let me just bring up the... Get auto drive. Get my mouse cursor then. It Takes a few clicks to get the mouse cursor back on. Fields, 119. Boom. Right. We've got 5 minutes or so before we get there. But yeah, so this contract is paying $138,000. 138 grand for a contract. It's going to take me many, many hours, more hours than it would have taken me to get started on my own field. But I can't turn down 140 grand, can I? I really can't. So where we're at now, looking at the finances, we did take a little bit of a hit from the numbers that I'd worked out, working out how much value we had in the grain that we've just sold, due to the time it took and the fluctuations that we get in the prices. In total, we made $476,730. Initially, I'd worked it out to be about $483,404. So there was a hit of about $6,600-ish in between those numbers. But I'm not going to complain. I'm not complaining. We're in a very, very good position. $486,500 and now in the bank. But if we now go and do this contract at $138,305, that's going to bring the bank balance to $624,835,000, which is just mind-blowing. So if I give myself, if I still stick with the idea of keeping 20 grand in the bank for a bit of a float, we're going to be able to pay off just north of 600 grand. Bear in mind, like I said before, we currently owe 755,000. So that is going to leave, again, as near as makes no difference, I keep saying that, don't I? But it's going to leave 150 grand's worth of debt left on the account, which I think is... I'm quite proud of it. I'm dead chuffed with it, considering this is episode 9, I think it is. So from $1 million debt, which I did consider to be pretty good, pretty vast, and to give myself a bit of a challenge. And there's been no cheating along the way, apart from the amending of the capacity of the trailer, for example, just to reduce. I mean, even after doing that, it still took 4 hours. If I hadn't done that, the capacity of that trailer was left at the standard 12,000 or just over 12,000 litres. That selling of the grain would have taken many hours more. So I'm not disappointed with myself for doing that or anything like that. I've just saved a bit of time essentially. But then I've taken on this contract, so that's just wiped that out, hasn't it? Because this is going to take hours. Interestingly, let's jump into the contract menu. Actually, before we do, just another point of interest that I noticed before when I was going into the finances. This is what we've made. Interestingly, when you sell your grain, it comes up in the finances menu as harvest income. But as you can see here, it's actually the dried corn has actually come through as a sold product and not as a harvest income. So I've been able to differentiate the two quite easily. So we made that 413,187. That's the dried corn. That 63,543 is the wheat. So that's all good, pretty much. But if we go into the contracts menu, look at that, $138,000. It's brilliant. But it says it's going to take just over 8 hours. Now, at this point, I'm going to say, yeah, but hold my beer. And that's not in a kind of boastful way. I think it's actually going to take me considerably longer. I don't actually know where it's working that time out from. That's in the contracts menu. It's got nothing to do with the speed and the size of the tools that I've currently got on my farm, I don't think. But yeah, I got a funny feeling it's going to take considerably longer. When I ran the test the other day before setting up for this recording in my own cornfield, which is a little bit smaller than this one we're just about to go and do, I'm taking out all the road signs here, aren't I? That told me it was going to be about 7.5 hours, so it might be about right. I'm not too sure. When we get to the field in a moment or two's time, we'll have a look how far off we've now. Oh, just over a minute, so yeah. But it's right on the other side of the map. Like I said, it's the third biggest field on the map at 122 acres. It's an odd shape. In fact, let me just, while we're waiting to get there, if I bring up course play. There we go. Jump into here. We'll load up the course. Because this took me a while to... Actually, that's clear current course. Now I want to load that course, don't I? There we go. That's going to take a moment or two. There we go. This is the course here. It's savage. It really is. Those of you who are users of course play will be, you'll be familiar with what you're seeing here. during that 4 hours of selling the grain, I jumped into my other 4020 tractor and bought the plough over here to plot this course. Now, ignore that. I'm just going to have to sort that out when we get to it. But it took just over 18 minutes of real time to compute and plot out this course. Again, those of you familiar with Courseplay will know what I mean, but if you try, when you go to plot a course and create a course, the computer it doesn't freeze, but it kind of it does in a way freeze while it computes the course. Usually it's a matter of seconds. On bigger fields it can be a couple of minutes, but this was an absolute monster. Like I say, 18 minutes in total it took from me clicking generate course to me being able to use the game again. It just froze for 18 minutes. I'd stopped my auto drive back into selling the grain so that I was, wasn't asking too much of my system. But yeah, 18 minutes, so it's an absolute whopper. Now, the start of the course is right down here, actually, so let's get myself out the field. This is where I've just brought the auto drive node to the field, but the start place for the Courseplay course is right down the bottom, so I'll pick you up in a second when we're down there, and we'll see exactly how long this is going to take us. Right then, where is this node, start node for the Courseplay course? I think I can just see it shimmering there in the distance. Let's go see let's go see the damage. This is definitely going to take some considerable time, so let's get rid of them. Click on that. 11 hours and 26 minutes. 11 hours and 26 minutes. Oh my word. It's currently 2:30 in the afternoon here in real life, in the real world. So this is genuinely going to take me until tomorrow to get this finished, this video. Oh my word. Right, well, there's going to be nothing left of this plough by the time I'm finished. Doing this job and doing my cornfield and all. This is going to be an absolute beast. Right, well, it's got to be done. 140 grand getting this debt paid off. So let's stick some tunes on, sit back and get comfortable. I'm going to be here well into the night, but it's going to be worth it. See you later. Right, welcome back, folks. It's been a while, or it certainly feels that way from where I'm sitting anyway. And I tell you what, this flock of gulls has been following me for the entirety of this job so far. I'm still not quite finished. As you can see, 93% through it. We've still got about an hour left, and that's just the headlands. I programmed in 4 headlands, and I've got about an hour and... let's remind myself actually where we're up to. 1 hour and 4 minutes left, and I am going to do the whole thing. Commitment to the cause and all that. It feels right, assuming the job doesn't... you know, when I get to 100%, assuming it doesn't stop me from doing it, I am going to complete the task, as I feel that is absolutely the right thing to do. But this lot have been following me for literally since the start, pretty much. And although I will admit, and the reason why I do sound particularly chipper, considering I've been doing this 11 and a bit hour job, today is the next day in real life. I've not done many jobs in Farming Simulator that have taken me 2 days to do. But this has been one of them. But this lot, I'm surprised they're still flying about, the amount of worms and stuff they've been eating for the last 11 hours. They're well fed, that's for sure. But yeah, decent job this. It's been a cracker. It's worked well. Courseplay has worked literally faultlessly. If I jump into my map PDA and show you there, yes, it's missed a couple of bits in corners and whatnot, but I'm not bothered about that in this particular instance. The field is so vast. And obviously when we click collect and finish and give me my money, all those bits will be done. But yeah, the one thing, I know I've been trying to do things properly and not cheating or anything like that, and I've technically not done that. The one thing I did turn down, purely, again, just for my own sanity, I suppose, is the fuel usage. I turned that down to low for doing this, so I am on... even though there is an element of unrealism in that, I am on the same tank of diesel. We've still got a little bit left. Come on, you. Sort yourself out. There you go. But yeah, that's the only thing I dialed down, just to stop me from having to go back into to the other side of the map, because it is vast and it is a long way, and this has been quite the task. But anyway, yeah, like I say, we've got just over an hour left to get this done. I'm hoping it's going to let me carry on, because I just think it's the right thing to do. But yeah, it's midnight, so yeah, it's been a long one this, but I'm very, very much looking forward to completing it, turning it in, receiving almost $140,000 into the bank, where we're going to be paying off a significant chunk of our debt, which is going to be brilliant. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I feel I've done quite well, not blowing my own trumpet by any means, but I feel I've done quite well in this series so far. This is episode 9, and we are almost, or will be, in an hour or so's time, we're going to be almost debt-free. So yeah, dead chuffed with that. The last time I tried anything as imaginative as this on my channel, I suppose, was way back in Farming Simulator 22. Quite when my channel was very young, I started a survival series over on the Holmokra map, which was a forestry-centric map, essentially. And I did the usual, you know, it's all been done before, started with a pickup truck and a chainsaw, and, you know, the purpose of that was to start with nothing and build your way up. But I did it successfully, but in respect of considering the content and structure of the series, I did it too successfully. I started out with an old, I think it was an old Ford pickup truck and a chainsaw. I had a plot of land, and I just went round and I cut down probably somewhere in the region of about 1,000 trees. Sold a couple of them, chopped them up into logs, put them on the back of the pickup truck, sold them, and gave myself enough money to lease an articulated lorry and an auto-loading log trailer. And within, I think by episode 3, I had a fleet of £500,000 tractors. I had a brand new Fendt 1167, a gorgeous Claas, I think it was a 6900 Lexion combine, and an air-conditioned workshop, and acres of land. And it was like, okay, right, I've survived, but not thinking about the... I think at the time, you know, experience and all that, it was one of them, but at the time I was trying to survive for the purposes of the series, and I think I did it. I peaked way too early, so yeah, it was yeah. So episode 3, I was a multi-millionaire and doing particularly well. So, but yeah, anything that was the last time I tried anything kind of like this, and this one obviously being a little bit different to me, starting out $1 million in debt and building up the farm. I think you know, I know episode 9 is still quite fresh in that respect, but I've not cut any corners, I've not done anything stupid and become a millionaire. We're still, you know, I'm enjoying seeing a 6-figure bank balance right now, but it's not going to be there for long. think we'll, when we finish this in about an hour's time, at about 1:30 in the morning, we'll give the bank manager a ring and wake him up. Throw him a load of money, shall we? So, but yeah. Right, anyway. Where are we up to now? Exactly an hour. Bang on. So, come on, you. Pull. So, yeah, I'll see you in about an hour's time when the job's done, hopefully. We'll get paying off some debt. Right then, almost done. Feeding time for these gulls will be over any minute now. Interestingly, it did actually let me carry on doing the job. I'm sure I remember a couple of episodes ago I did a ploughing contract over on a different field, and I'm sure I remember it stopping me halfway through and saying you no longer own the land or whatever, but either way, it's all good. Here we are, right at the finish. 3, 2, 1. Job done. Lovely stuff. Right. AI Worker B has finally completed their task, so get ourselves off the field. Sorry neighbour, I'm driving through your garden at 1:30 in the morning in a big noisy John Deere. Right, so let's get ourselves out of here. There we go. I'm just going to pull up very quickly. I'm going to stick. No, I'm not. I haven't got an auto drive network on this particular road, but now it is the time to settle a chunk of our debt. So completed. 138,305. Thank you very much. Boom! Right. A bit of lag there as the game recognises my massive increase in bank balance. So, back into the menu, into our finances. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so we're almost there, aren't we? So, let's spam the repay button. As I say before, I'm going to leave myself 15, 20 grand. I think we'll go for 15 still, I think. So, yeah. Give me a moment. Spam this button repeatedly. Right, almost there. 18,253. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there, actually. That'll do. That'll do. So, we have... Yeah, it gives a nice round number. $150,000 left on the debt. That is absolutely brilliant. So, that's not going to take too long to get paid off. That's especially on this map, anyway. That's... Well, could possibly be one contract, or at least a handful of contracts anyway, but either way, we're not long away from getting that done, are we, ladies and gentlemen? It's been pretty good. So, time to get home, get a bit of rest. 20 to 2 in the morning. But yeah, I think next episode we will be jumping forward into spring, into March, and we'll dig this thing out again. Surprised there's any shanks left on this thing after that work, but yeah, it's still there. But yeah, we'll be sorting out our cornfield, prepping it for a drilling in, I think, if I remember correctly, is it April? Where are we? Corn, remind myself. Yes, corn planting season starts in April, so we'll be sorting that out. But yeah, for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. Go and get some rest, chill out, get prepared for the next one. But yeah, I do hope you have enjoyed this video, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do hope you have enjoyed the episode and found it a little bit of fun. If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing and jumping on board and joining the channel. If you like the idea of supporting the channel, there are a couple of ways you can do that also. There is my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs, there is coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support with any of these guys would be massively appreciated. So, thanks again for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.